Hello everyone, this is the Archfiend!
Hello everyone, this is the Archfiend. I just learned how to eat with chopsticks. I love watching South Park. I play PS3, and it is 12:40 a.m.
Hello everyone, this is the Archfiend, and this is Audrey. Say hi, Audrey.
The Archfiend.
Well, now that last one was interesting. Thank you for sending in those 10-second clips, guys. I appreciate that. I'm going to use them all in my videos. Anyway, SOPA and the Protect IP Act. So many of you guys out there have asked me to just talk about this and ask me what I think about it. And this all has to do with the government and people that make copyrighted material. All these people wanting to stop online piracy. That is the illegal streaming, viewing, listening to, any of those things of stuff that is produced by actual physical companies and then is just released on the internet to whoever the hell wants to see it at any given time. Now, before I get into just like, the whole meat of the matter here, I want to go over a few things here because so many people are like pissing and moaning and going, oh my god, I can't believe that I live in communist China and a ridiculous bill like SOPA or the Protect IP Act would be put forth in Congress. This is ridiculous. These bills are just absolutely worthless. Hold on a second here. Let's go over a few things, alright? Now, there's a number of entertainment companies, a number of media producing companies that produce songs, music videos, television shows, movies, just you name it. And that content is downloaded, viewed, streamed, however you want to put it, on the internet for free. These companies invest millions of dollars, hours upon hours of hard labor. People have their talents used, their abilities assembled, all that good stuff goes into making this content that is pirated off the internet. These companies have lost billions of dollars because of piracy. These companies have lost thousands of employees because of piracy. How the hell can anyone out there say that these companies that own this copyrighted material and they're willing to go up to the US government and say, hey, could you guys do something about this? We're tired of losing billions of dollars. We're tired of people in the entertainment industry losing jobs because piracy is running rampant on the internet. They have every absolute right to piss and moan to the current government here in the United States and say, please do something about this. But, should anything really change? Think about that here for a second, people. These people, these companies, these entities, whatever you want to call it, they're losing a significant amount of money because of online piracy. You can watch any pay-per-view right now if you wanted to. Any pay-per-view, a boxing match, a UFC match. You don't have to pay the $60. You can see it online for free. Anyone who's anyone knows you can do that. You could watch a movie that came out in the theaters yesterday online for free. Do you think those companies and the people that are in charge of those companies, the artists, the musicians, the MMA fighters, all that, do you think they are happy that people just willingly just watch their product for free? They don't have to pay for it. They don't have to go through the steps and measures that are what are quote-unquote proper. They should be pissed, and they are pissed about it. And that is why stuff like the Stop the Online Piracy Act came about. Well, actually, that came along later. The Protect IP Act came out before that. But should anything change? That is like the biggest thing about this. Now, these bills or these acts, as they are, they're halted. Well, the Protect IP Act is halted. That came forth back in April. It has now evolved into the Stop the Online Piracy Act, which came about October 26th of this year. These bills are designed to cripple any website, not penalize the users, at least immediately in the writing of these. These can obviously morph into something else along the way here, so don't jump down my throat if something changes about these acts. These acts are designed to go after the websites that stream that media, those pay-per-views, those movies, those television shows, you name it, music, anything. It's mainly in the writing of the acts targeting companies that are, these websites that are abroad, these websites that aren't in the United States. I gotta say, I am all for that. I'm absolutely all for that. If they want to shut down these websites, because like I said, these websites are showing content for absolute free, and these websites are profiting off of it. They have ads all over their websites. They can upload movies to accounts like on Blip TV, put the hyperlink or just embed the video on their website page, put pre-roll ads on it, and make a profit off of stealing another person's content. Everyone out there that, watch my videos and agree with me about Ray William Johnson stealing content, you gotta be down on all these websites that steal content as well. That is what this bill, this act, is going after. I can't disagree with that for a second. But here's the thing. This act can go much more beyond just penalizing these websites that stream this online media, this pirated movies, music, television, all that stuff. It can affect anyone inside America as well. Anyone that has a website. What this Stop Online Piracy Act is set up to do is give the Department of Justice, the DOJ, the authority to go after any copyright infringer. In other words, the copyright infringer doesn't have to formally come out and say, hey, this website, this person, whatever, is using my intellectual property, my copyrighted material. The Department of Justice is going to set up an entire sector of special agents that are going to be like a research team, and if they so choose to see someone that is violating copyrights, they can be like, guess what? It is time for you to end. And it'll happen just like that, and no one will know what happened. The site will just be gone. This is also designed to cripple these websites. Not only does the website go away, but the website can't even be searched in a search engine. All hyperlinks from a search engine like Google or Yahoo will be automatically removed. So this is some pretty serious shit. This is designed to cripple people that are using copyrighted material. However, there has to be concern as to where that line is going to be drawn. Now, again, this isn't set up right now for the time being to go after people that view copyrighted content. They basically want to go after the drug dealers instead of the drug users in this circumstance. Now, that's a very good approach, I must say, and it'll probably be much more effective than going after the viewers, because I don't know about you guys, but I can't name a single one of my peers that hasn't either downloaded a song off the internet, watched a movie, streamed it, downloaded, watched a movie that came out in the theaters the night before, anything like that. I can't name a single person I know that hasn't at least done that once in their life. Hell, I know a guy that pretty much downloads every single movie he sees off the internet. And I hope he doesn't get arrested someday, but he probably is going to. But anyway, that's a whole different story. This bill, or this act I should say, specifically the Stop Online Piracy Act, has a lot of people worried, like a random website like thatguywiththeglasses.com. Now, for all we know, someone who owns the copyright, or the intellectual property rights or the copyrights to a movie that Doug Walker reviewed could bring that claim to court, go in front of the judge, and say, hey, this guy did a bit more than what was a review of my movie or my company's movie. It can just be a lawyer talking on behalf of the company that made the movie. They could say, well, Doug Walker covered every single plot point in that, showed about close to 30 minutes of the entire film. The entire film is ruined. People won't want to go see it that saw this because they saw everything in the movie from end to end pretty much. And a judge could be like, you know what? You make a good point. Site shut down. Tongue twister. Sorry, I killed my... Anyway, lost my train of thought. So yeah. And the thing about this is, it's a one-sided court case. It's not like the website for that guy with the glasses.com would get contacted first. No, it's not going to be like a defense attorney and a prosecuting attorney. It's just someone who owns the copyrighted content can come in front of the judge and just say, hey, they're using my content, end them. And the judge will have to say, all right, yes or no. And no one at the website would even know it's happening. Neither would you. So that is kind of scary. And sites like that are concerned about it. You go on his website right now, you see a lot of just fear about what's going on because, you know, there is that phantom menace. And I can't believe I just used something that quoted the title to a shitty Star Wars film. There's a phantom ghost in the Stop Online Piracy Act that is just going to, you know, creep up and just pop up out of anywhere and shut your site down. Now, these acts have currently been halted because there is some, shall we say, contention in Congress right now because there's a division between those in Congress that see the act as good, most of which are very old people that don't understand how technology works, versus those that see it as bad. Now, the people that see it as bad is for a very, very legit reason that a lot of people aren't seeing. And that is simply the internet sector is one of the single biggest job sectors in the entire world right now. This act, if it gets made into law, will tremendously hamper the integrity of the internet and its ability to make as many jobs as it is right now. But now we'll harken back to what I said before, but the people that own the copyrights, they have a right to have their stuff pulled. When someone uploads it and they don't get the proper permission to do so, absolutely they do. But see, that's where the people in Congress that are going against this are saying, they're saying, well, do we really want to help the companies that are still making money hand over fist? Take, for example, a company like World Wrestling Entertainment. All right, Vince McMahon could appear in front of a judge and say, well, on YouTube, every single one of my matches, damn near every single one of my matches that, you know, ever happened under my time in the company is on YouTube. And that is true. And they are by people that are just randomly uploading these videos. Now, Vince McMahon could, of course, use the flagging system, but you're talking about literal hundreds of thousands of videos that are uploaded. Vince McMahon would have to hire just an entire fleet of people just to flag those videos. That's why it's a lost battle, and stuff like that ran just rampant on YouTube. And you could see stuff like that, copyrighted material, just run across the board there. There's not really much you can do about it. He just has to sit there and deal with it. So, I feel for the Vince McMahons of the world. But in all honesty, if someone like a Vince McMahon was to come up in front of that judge and he would say, well, we got to shut down YouTube now. Now that the Stop Online Piracy Act is a law, we got to shut down YouTube. Ain't happening. That's the phobia people have in their head, that they think websites like YouTube are going to get shut down. Folks, let's be realistic. YouTube makes a shit ton of money for the US economy. It's not going anywhere. It may get to the point where people are going to end up saying, all right, YouTube, we're not going to tell you to shut down, but I'll tell you what, you got to get rid of that copyrighted material on your website, and you got to get rid of it now. That is going to become a reality if this bill gets put into law. And people need to seriously consider that, because the whole landscape of everything here could change drastically. There's really not much opposition to this because, like I said before, most people in Congress really don't understand technology and the whole grand scope of things, other than that small group that did put a hold on the bill right now, and it's not being taken into effect. It's not going to be voted on for law at the time being, unless someone can put up a proper argument. But the Vince McMahons of the world, I can see their honest contention. And no, YouTube should not be letting people upload copyrighted content, but it happens all the time. And then there's people that are profiting off of those people's material. It happens. The one main thing that I would say, though, is kind of like in the movie Jurassic Park, where they were talking about the dinosaurs reproduce and how life always finds a way. Piracy will always find a way. It's the internet. You can just hope to control it, as the proverbial saying goes. Or actually, it's contain it. Yeah, I messed up. Anyway, you can only hope to contain it. There. Piracy is going to find a way no matter what. First off, these websites that are going to be blocked can still be accessed by typing in their IP address. I'm sure the government will come wise to that soon enough. But you gotta wonder what's really going to happen. Is the government, because the government is put in a spot right now. The Congress is somewhat split, because what should they do? Should they stick up for like the Vince McMahons of the world and say, all right, even though you're making hundreds of millions of dollars, we're going to help cripple an entire website called YouTube to help you make a couple million more dollars in DVD sales and whatever? Or should they just let things stay as they are? But again, these people out there that are like just going absolute batshit crazy over these bills need to step back and put yourselves in the shoes of those people that create that content and ask yourself, how would you feel if you saw your content just being distributed willy-nilly to any website that allows you to download it and view it for free? They have a right to complain, and they have a right to have as loud a voice as anyone else. And right now, the government is siding with them. There are more people in Congress right now that are for the Stop Online Piracy Act than there are against it. And people need to really take that into consideration. You gotta ask yourself, will the majority of the American public really care? I mean, sure, there's a lot of people that use the internet, but in the grand scheme of things, who will really give a shit if people have to, go back to buying UFC pay-per-views or WWE pay-per-views because they can't get them off a website for free every Saturday or Sunday night? I'd say the majority of the mass public out there won't give a shit. With that being said, the people that are in office, that's all they really care about. As long as the majority is okay with the decision, then it's going to be law. Now, I can't say I got a crystal ball and I know for a fact this is going to pass, but people should be concerned. This is some pretty serious shit. But who knows? Who really knows? Because this act has come forth in Congress in many forms before and has failed to pass. Somehow just finds a way to not pass, and there's an argument that's put up at the last minute and it ends up getting denied. So that guy with the glasses.coms of the world, they should be safe, but I don't know. I got a bad feeling this time around. I got a really bad feeling. Because again, this piracy is getting out of control. And all these people that make that content are really getting pissed. And those people have a lot of money to influence votes in Congress. All we in the general public have is our voices. Who do you think's going to win that battle? Well, I've stretched this video on long enough, I think, and I hope I have people thinking about this, maybe from a perspective that you haven't seen on this before. And, I know a lot of people out there are going apeshit over this, as, they should be. And we'll just have to see where this goes. This will probably come up to vote before the end of the year, so we'll find out. Oh well, it is what it is. What can we do? take care, everyone. Have a great day, great evening, great whatever. And turtle power. That is all.